Sink into the endless deep. Surge of deep tides.
The gateway into the sonorosphere is just on the other side of this bridge. This is the furthest I've ever managed to venture. Judging from the bits of information the Sentinel gave me, Tervin is the key to entering the sonorosphere.
You have come. Greetings. I'm Cartethyia, and you are?
Canterella Phasalia.
Oh, a Phasalia. It seems your ties with the Order are more complicated than they appear.
I had the privilege of watching the Blessed Maiden's performance at the Carnival once. I'm rather surprised. After all this time, you still look exactly as you did that day. But you and I should be around the same age.
I'm also unsure of what's happened to me. I've been searching for answers. This must be the Sword of Divinity. Tervin. The one with the Sentinel's powers sealed within.
You shouldn't have knowledge of this sword.
Memories flowed into my mind just as you entered the sonorosphere, granting me information about the sword's origins.
Canterella said that only those who resonate with Tervin are granted glimpses of its knowledge.
Would you mind if I tried touching it? The question of whose resonator I am is now perfectly clear. If I am not the Sentinel's resonator, then that must mean...
Don't jump to conclusions just yet. That doesn't prove you're the Threnodian's resonator, nor that you aid its cause.
Huh? This connection formed between the Sentinel and the Threnodian, the second Dark Tide, and the forming of this sonorosphere.
Right now, you're the sole survivor of whatever happened that day. You really don't remember anything?
As you spoke, I remembered a few more things. There are two other swords. The Sword of Discord, Hognis, and the Sword of Virtue, Haltia. Yes. Did you see them too? Placing the three swords on their respective pedestals should break the seal over the main tower. But why would this information be revealed to me now? Is this the Threnodians doing?
If we do nothing, we'll never get any answers. Instead of speculating, we should use the clues we've gathered so far.
Lady Maiden.
Please, Cartethyia would suffice. I am but a fake after all.
I've waited for this moment. This chance to save the Sentinel. And my family. I will not turn back, even if this does turn out to be a trap. If the thought of the final answer troubles you, then I suggest you step aside. Rover and I will take care of this matter.
Since you are willing to overlook the possibilities of a trap, then there's no reason for me to worry and turn away. I underestimated your resolve. I'm sorry. Simply place Tavin on the pedestal behind me, and this tower will elevate itself.
What you said to Cartethyia back there?
Rather effective on someone of her personality. Wouldn't you agree?
Are you all right? The gravity that occupies this space is the opposite of what you're used to. It took me some time to get used to it too. I believe it's to prevent them from falling to the ground. Tacit discords, the dark tide, and these ruins themselves.
I imagine it's also a symbolic reminder that our beliefs have been turned on their head. This view matches with what I saw at the time.
Until you get used to the gravity here, I suggest we travel via phone. It's the name I gave to a gondola.
Moment of resonance. Break.
This gondola only has 2 seats.
Oh dear, I completely forgot about this.
Greed will get you punished, you know.
I'm afraid Foam would refuse that suggestion.
The 2 of you can go on ahead.
You look distracted. Still thinking about what Canterella said about fearing answers?
My powers are very weak, and many tacit discords roam the sonorosphere. Thus, I've been limited in the areas I can explore. All I can do is sit here, lost in thought, trying to figure out who I am.
Are you afraid of knowing the answer?
I am afraid, but not of the answer. I fear never finding one at all. We'll be arriving at the first water rise soon. A few details, if you don't mind.
Feeling nervous?
Of course. The last time I tried to pass it like this... Where were my manners? I can assure you that won't happen again. As for the rest of the way, I see it clearly now.
Wind guide me.
Vines, over there. And that statue.
I can feel strong remnant energy coming from it.
The Order's remnant spark must be inside the statue. Legends speak of how the first Primus used it to purify the first Dark Tide. I see now. The lingering remnants of the Dark Tide must be trapping the spark. To release it, we'll need to clear away the remaining remnants binding it. Once we have the remnant spark, we can use it to burn through the vines.
Sounds, come forth.
If the Threnodian created the Dark Tide, maybe Abby can absorb it.
Abby is still unwell. Perhaps we shouldn't burden it further. More Dark Tide remnants. Good thing there isn't much. Leave it to me. Don't worry. This much I can still handle.
The hour is upon us.
The vines are remnants of the Dark Tide. Foe won't be able to cross through them. Let's disembark here and find a way to clear the path. This calibrator seems to be operational. One moment. That should do it. Why don't you give it a try? It's turning. Rotate the gravity calibrator to change the direction of the gravity's pull. If we use this, we should be able to reach areas we previously couldn't.
Let me be there for everyone. As we head toward... Leave it to me. The end has come. Hopefully this helps.
Hurry! We need to purify the other statues before the Dark Tide's corruption returns. Sounds like Foam's getting impatient. Let's head back.
Did you feel any discomfort while we were clearing out the remnants?
Nothing out of the ordinary. I felt fine. I suppose this alone is not enough to determine whose resonator I am.
You've helped a lot. Don't worry about that for now. Another water rise is coming up. You planning to hold on to something?
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
By the way, you said the inverted gravity is to stop the dark tide from descending into the city, but all we've seen so far are just its remnants.
That's because this very waterway we're sailing on used to be the dark tide itself. In these waters, gravity isn't the only thing that's inverted. Its very essence is too. Obstacles ahead. Let's get off here. There it is, up there. But judging by the distance, we'd be hard-pressed to make it back in time.
Can you use your ability from somewhere in between to clear them all at once?
I might not have that range. But there may be tacitite devices nearby that can help amplify my forte. Let's see if we can find one. That's it. A tacitite device.
Leave it to me. Sounds come forth. The end has come. Hopefully this helps. Strike from the shadows. Ha! No hesitation.
This should do the trick.
Disperse. The hour is upon us. Hopefully this helps. Break. I sense your weakness. Leave it to me. Moment of resonance. You okay?
Just catching my breath. You go get the remnant spark. Up ahead is the Tower of Salvation. That's where the first pedestal is located.
Tower of Salvation?
Yes, a name taken from the Order's Codex.
Cherish every gain.
I'd rather know I'm a villain than remain a wanderer, lost in a world without understanding. To live with no memory of the past. Would it be so different from choosing to enter them? I must find the answer. Only then will I know how to face the memories I still carry. As for you, if I really am...
I can take care of myself. If it comes to that, I'll still remember the girl who cared enough to worry about me.
I should go back for Canterella. Will you wait here for us?
Of course.
I hope you won't mind the extra trip, Foam.
I saw signs of battle along the way. Is anyone injured? Well, you seem to be in perfect shape to me. But if you say so, I can offer you a strong elixir. Care to give it a try? Oh, I insist. Here, take this. There's no knowing what will happen once Turvin is placed on the pedestal. It's best we prepare ourselves.
No longer shall you bear these thorns as a reminder. Forged from primordial seas, this crown shall grant a new identity. Fleur-de-lis, child of divinity, the Immaculate One. Will you uphold the sacred teachings of the Order of the Deep?
I will.
Salvation, unity, ascension. Of these three doctrines, which do you choose?
I choose salvation. I wish to be the Master's blade, striking evil, upholding virtue, and offering salvation to those in peril.
In the name of divinity, I bestow upon you this crown. May the blood of justice never run dry. Through this sacred rite, you become the bridge between the heavens and the living. From this day forward, you shall be the Master's sole receiver and herald. Rise, blessed Maiden, Fleur-de-lis. None but the Master shall ever have the right to command you to bend the knee.
I told ya to stop sticking random stuff in here! Do you have any idea how messed up and humongous that frequency was? It's gonna give me indigestion! I should ask you that. What did you do just now, huh? I was dozing when bam! Out of nowhere, a giant blue ball landed on top of me. It almost squished me.
I'm guessing putting Turvin on the pedestal has something to do with it.
Oh, hey! It smells just as unnatural as that big gigantor back in Jinjo.
The Sentinel of Jinjo. If what our little echo friend says is true, then the frequency that entered your tacit mark could be Imperator's powers.
Huh? But the Sentinel isn't even here.
The power to split and manipulate space.
It is reminiscent of the moment of Turvin's creation. Only this time the place of confinement has become your tacit mark.
Why would it do that?
I believe it was meant for the true Maiden. Under the right circumstances, the one to wield this sword and enter the sonorosphere would be the Sentinel's resonator, the Blessed Maiden. The Sentinel entrusted their power to the resonator so that she could lend assistance when the corruption of the Threnodian altered them. Quite logical, isn't it?
You don't seem too thrilled about it.
If Imperator set this in motion, then their original plan has already failed. Cartethyia, that means your guidance holds the key now.
But
I believe in you. Is there anything else you remember?
I just remembered the day I was crowned by the Order. And the moment the dark tide descended upon us. Huh?
But I didn't see the dark tide.
That is all I can remember.
Is that what you saw?
You witnessed it as well, Canterella.
No. I only saw fragmented, blurry images. They seemed to belong to other places within the sonorosphere. I believe this is where we should rest. We'll wait until sunrise. You're the one who needs rest most of all. After all, it's still only a possibility that the frequency you absorbed is the Sentinel's powers. Rest now, to ensure it doesn't take a toll on you.
I'm gonna hit the sack as well. Boy, it's so cramped in here.
Now, what could you possibly want with me at a time like this?
Is it true that the Phasalia family was one of the factions that started the conflict in that stained glass?
The leader of one such faction, to be exact. That was a long time ago. After their defeat, the Union was disbanded under immense pressure, and the Phasalias gradually withdrew from the public eye.
Is this why you had no choice but to publicly change your beliefs?
No. The reasons for the Phasalia family relinquishing their pride and enduring disgrace are far more intricate than that.
What do you mean?
Long ago, Turvin was actually given to the Phasalia family by the first Primus, Napoli II. When the conflict had settled, he arranged a private meeting with the head of the family to reveal the truths behind the pilgrimage. He told the Phasalias that when he traveled through the first dark tide and reached its end, there was no sanctuary, only a battlefield filled with darkness and suffering. The heavenly voices he heard were not revelations from the Divinity, but the seductive whispers of the Threnodian, casting a lure for puppets to bite. As I told you before, Leviathan is a Threnodian who uses beliefs to spread a spiritual plague. You see, it requires a puppet to carry its voice. The Sentinel realized the Threnodian's plots, and thus the first Dark Tide was launched as a hasty reaping of Raguna and the Sentinel. To save Raguna from the grim fate brought by the Dark Tide, the Sentinels split a portion of their power and entrusted it to Napoli II. This power allowed him to imbue the echoes with the strength to repel the tacit discords and purify the Dark Tide.
And this power was released through the lantern depicted in the stained glass?
Yes. The other part was kept inside Turvin. It was in that very moment, when the Sentinel's power had been weakened, that the Threnodian corrupted and merged with their body, transforming the Sentinel into the form you see today.
If what you're saying is true, the first Primus should have been on Imperator's side. Did the spiritual plague you mentioned affect him?
Although the Primus's body remained whole, his soul was torn apart, caught in the ceaseless struggle between the Threnodian and the Sentinel. Within the body they now shared, the Sentinel's power failed to shield the Primus from the Threnodian's influence. As the two divinities vied for dominance, he succumbed to many misdeeds against his own people. In the end, during that private meeting, he confessed the truth to the head of the Thessalias and begged for release.
So that's why he passed so abruptly.
The Thessalia family was powerless against the Order at that time. Our only recourse was to submit to their cause and keep the secret locked away in our hearts, waiting for the right moment to act. Now, what could you possibly want with me at a time like this?
You were pretty harsh on Cartethyia.
Before I learned of those record secrets, I had only seen her from afar, heard tales of her accomplishment. While I would be willing to believe she stands with humanity, the more I allow myself to cling to such thoughts, the more I must strip them away and think rationally. It's only then I can be certain these thoughts are my own, and not the whispers I hear in the dark. Now, what could you possibly want with me at a time like this? A trivial experiment. A test designed to find those with the strongest wills and force them into resonating with Turvin. Yet after trying for so long, all we got was the answer, the Maiden is dead.
I don't think she wants to continue this conversation. Better to stop pressing.
Now, what could you possibly want with me at a time like this? Well, I don't intend to wait around either.
Are you going to search those areas we passed before alone?
The more clues, the better, don't you think? Oh, and take this. Afraid I've slipped something extra in? Or perhaps you're contemplating dinner with me.
I'm just curious why the matriarch of the Thessalia family packs her own food.
Food is always an easy target for those who find me less than pleasing.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you all that I can remember. It is paradise.
I take it you don't mean that in a good way?
It is a place where sickness, hunger, sorrow, despair, and dullness of heart cease to exist. There, deacons sing eternal hymns. From a literal standpoint, this line describes the Dark Tide perfectly. In the beginning, the Dark Tide would claim only the areas it touched, assimilating all life as its vanguard to clear the way for its spread. The dead, they would grow mouths and sing hymns, day and night. They didn't need eyes or ears, for their purpose was to spread blindness and madness. Even those who did not believe were drawn irresistibly to the Leviathan's creed, and for those already deceived, it was all but inevitable. When a soul is corrupted to its core, it will sing hymns without end on its sleepless journey to merge with the Dark Tide. And when every faithful soul has returned to paradise, the land consumed by the Dark Tide will begin its pilgrimage. Drawn by Darkens, the final act of the Dark Tide is the journeying paradise.
Is this the future you saw after coming into contact with the dark tide?
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you all that I can remember. That was its name before it became a sonorosphere. This seminary, built on an island, was not just a place of learning.
What did they teach?
The Order's scriptures, geography, history, and combat skills.
Shouldn't a seminary focus more on cultural arts?
This was a seminary reserved only for resonators, so naturally, their talents were put to more practical use. Besides, the doctrine of salvation emphasized the importance of combat. Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you all that I can remember. The Sword of Discord, Hogness, and the Sword of Virtue, Haltier. I can't remember anything else about Hogness, but as for Haltier, it was my former blade. How did it end up being one of the swords that can break the seal?
Perhaps we'll know once we find it.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I'll share with you all that I can remember. It's safer this way. You should get some rest. We'll be counting on you again tomorrow.
Besides being squashed behind that blue thing? Yeah, I guess. Listen, I figured something out about that frequency. It's not a single frequency. It's like it's mixed up with something else. Or kinda like a piece of cookie that's been crumbled in with everything else. Which is why it's so hard to get a good bite. To see if it was a threat. I can now say with certainty that it isn't. But since it's a crumbly mess, other than taking up space, it's pretty useless.
We might encounter something similar at the next two pedestals. Keep an eye on this for me, will you?
Will do. You can count on me, 100%.
Sink into the endless deep. Oh, this will be fun. Surge of deep tides. I thought I'd slip away quietly and avoid any fuss. Now, here I am dealing with all of you. Since you're all here, how about... They're a lot feistier than before.
Need help?
Engulfed by sea's venom. Hey. Oh, this will be fun. Pull from the abyss. Surge of deep tides.
Voice of Sirens. Well, this is where our paths must part.
You're here for the Sentinel. Why would you leave now?
What I saw yesterday caught my attention. It may be tied to the Sentinel. And besides, I'd rather not spend the day twiddling my thumbs, seeing as your gondola only holds 2.
Are you sure you want to go alone?
Such concern for me. I do hope to see the fruits of your labor when I return. Mind if I take Turvin?
Go ahead. It's no use now that it's out of the pedestal. Its energy is gone.
It may still come in handy.
I'll add you in my terminal. Call me if you need help.
I just might ring you up once things are settled.
If only I could still fight.
Everyone's doing their part. Don't worry. Nobody's perfect. The waterway up ahead is completely blocked.
That garden once housed dragon echoes. Now there's nothing left but tacit discords. Hognis should be here somewhere. This is where the acolytes used to be tested. Perhaps that Steely over there has instructions on what to do.
You don't remember from your exams?
As the Blessed Maiden, I was exempt. Sounds like they're talking about one of the 3 major belief systems, the faith of unity. I don't remember the pieces being spread out like this. Maybe we could find a way to move them.
Let's give it a try. We still need to rebuild the waterway. There's no point in finding Hognis if we can't repair the waterway. At that distance, we should take a wing ray.
I'll have to guide it.
Hold on tight. Don't go falling off.
It isn't supposed to be here. There's a gravity calibrator up ahead. Let's put it to good use.
Cartethyia, grab on tight.
Huh? Oh, okay. That's our goal, right there. But how do we move it?
Help me guide the wing ray to the top of the statue.
Of course, but what do you have in mind? Is this really okay?
Saves us the trouble of finding some trigger mechanism. Are these the so-called dragons?
Is that a problem?
The last one was bigger.
Which last one?
Gehenna. Ever heard of it?
I refuse to ride it.
The end has come. Hopefully this helps.
It's Hogness. There's a gravity calibrator behind the collapsed wall we just passed. We can use it to reorientate ourselves. The remnant spark should be able to incinerate the thorns on the left.
Cherish every gain. You can let go now. How are you feeling?
So soft. So cuddly. I mean, I'm fine.
Remnants of the past. It's stuck on the pedestal.
The waterway is still incomplete. We have to look elsewhere.
Wind guide me.
It's identical to the last statue. Same as before. I'll handle it.
Leave it to me.
Moment of resonance. Disperse. Hopefully this helps. Ha! Ha! I sense your weakness. The end has come. Hopefully this helps. No hesitation. The hour is upon us. Strike from the shadows.
Push yourself too hard.
It's okay. I'm just doing my part.
We're still missing an area. But where?
Over there.
That might be too high for the wing ray.
Same as before. I'll handle it. Just a bit more.
I'll handle this bit. You rest. You've done well. Let's see if I can get a feel for how strong the gravitational forces are.
All right.
Leave it to me.
Break. Hopefully this helps. Moment of resonance. Sounds come forth. I sense your weakness.
Hopefully this helps. The end has come. Strike from the shadows. Wind guide me. An unexpected discovery. Cartethyia?
I'm ready.
Leave it to me. Break! The end has come! Disperse! The hour is upon us! From the shadows. Hopefully this helps. Sounds come forth. Keep it together. Wind guide me.
It's been a long time since I saw this place as it was meant to be. So beautiful. I had forgotten.
Do you want to stop for a while?
No. We have more important things to do.
Let's check back on Hogness now. cherish every gain.